Joining me today on NYSE Floor Talk is Tamar Bar-Ilan. He is the co-founder and CTO at Cyera. Tamar, it's fantastic to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Judy.
So I want to start off by talking about Cyera. Tell me about the company.
Up until a few years ago, I think security programs ran without addressing the data layer directly. Even though the goal of cybersecurity is protecting sensitive data, then security teams address the network layers, the application, the infrastructure, the endpoints, but not the data directly. And we've seen that change dramatically over the last few years. And with the amounts of data organizations are collecting, with the sensitivity of that data, then more and more organizations are requiring visibility and management of their sensitive data as part of the security program. And at the end of the day, with so much sensitive data that organizations are collecting, you have to be able to differentiate between the data that matters and the data that clutters. I think that notion is only becoming stronger as the criticality of data to the business is rising, and organizations today are seeing their data many times as the most critical asset. And organizations are defining themselves, even finance or healthcare organizations, as data organizations. So the entire organization is looking to understand and know and manage their data much more carefully, including the security teams. And that's the reason we started Cyera, to be that company that helps security teams manage and secure their sensitive data. And I think the company that will do this, the company that will truly secure sensitive data across the enterprise, will be the most important cybersecurity company of our day and age.
Now tell me, how is Cyera doing this? How are you helping these companies handle these challenges?
Over half of the security teams we speak with are saying they have no to very partial visibility into their sensitive data. And without knowing your sensitive data, how can you expect to protect it? If organizations, if security teams don't know what data is publicly facing versus what data is private, they don't know what data is encrypted and what data is unencrypted, then securing it seems an impossible task. And I think we're here in the NYSE floor, and another change we're seeing is for public companies and responding to incident and breaches. And the SEC is really defining very, very strict requirements and regulations around how organizations respond to breaches. But one of the biggest challenges for organizations when an incident happens is that they don't even know what data was implicated or might have been implicated. They don't know what data was on these servers or accounts that were breached. And that's sometimes takes them weeks or even months to understand that. And without that understanding, how can they expect to respond to these breaches effectively? So to sum up, I think the ability to know your data and know how it's being used and accessed and how is it being controlled is the most fundamental layer to securing that data and to ensuring the organization is able to respond to incidents and breaches effectively.
So tell me, how does Cyera stand apart from others that are in this space?
For many years, the technological capabilities to actually get that picture of what data do you have across your environment, what data is private and what data is public, and to build that picture was nearly impossible from a technological standpoint. And organizations many times had to resort to manual means in order to build out that visibility and that picture. And what Cyera does, what Cyera brings to the table that hasn't been on the market before, is the use of cloud-native technologies and the use of AI in order to build that picture. And with these technologies, we're able to create this picture that previously took months and years to build in a matter of minutes and hours, and that is a huge, huge game changer. And we're able to classify the data and to understand the data much more accurately and in a much more contextualized manner. And that wasn't possible before we had AIs and LLMs that we have today, I think we're all seeing the strength and the power of these technologies now with ChatGPT and everything. And now imagine using these technologies in order to help organizations understand their data versus what was possible before. And that's a huge, huge game changer.
Mm-hmm. Now, exciting news. You recently secured $300 million in a Series C fundraise, bringing your total raise to $460 million in 2 years. Congratulations, that's very exciting news. So tell me, Tamar, how do you plan to use these funds?
Yeah, thank you. It really has been a very exciting milestone. And to achieve this kind of funding after only 3 years, I think is first and foremost a testament to the incredible market traction that we're seeing and that the DSPM space is seeing. And it's an acknowledgement by the top investors, top customers, top vendors in the world that the DSPM space is a huge and upcoming space that will be very, very fundamental to cybersecurity. From my perspective as CTO, the number one goal with this funding is to grow our product into a meaningful platform that will solve all the data security use cases from end to end. And customers that we're speaking with are having to stitch together 10 or 15 different security products in order to build that picture that we talked about, in order to solve their data security problems. And our goal with this funding is to expand our product into a platform that will really address these use cases across data discovery and classification, data governance, data privacy, incident response, detection and response, and really the entire gambit. And we'll do that through growing our R&D team substantially, and maybe even through acquisitions and acquiring companies that have exciting and new technologies to offer the market.
Well, it sounds like exciting times ahead for Cyera. Thank you for joining me in Floor Talk today, Tamar. It's been wonderful to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Judy.